So anyway, yes, I'm still worried, but I'll get over it. Besides, it's 6 days of work that keeps me off the streets.
Unless Scott's in Colorado burning his eye sockets out.
In which case, I'm on the streets all week, and that just is not a pretty sight. Listen, if you would like, subscribe, and follow, we'd appreciate that. If you already have, good on you, or what's wrong with you. And if you find a cool story, send it off to us at titr@netradio.network. You are always more than welcome to make wonderful comments, pro or con.
Yeah, we don't.
Yay or nay.
Yes.
On wherever you catch us.
And by the way, it's really hard to insult us.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had professionals try.
One guy associated with the Pope tried. Didn't
He did,
work.
and it just didn't happen.
Nope.
This is True, Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true,
Really?
as far as you know.
Kids' test answers.
Uh-oh.
Hope, who looks like she's in primary school by her handwriting and the fact that she spelled her name with a lowercase h,
Maybe it's a style thing.
is doing a geometry test. Quadrilaterals. I see 5 of them in the picture. The quadrilaterals, just as a reminder.
Is
Rectangle,
that where you take the football and throw it behind 5 times?
That's exactly it. Rectangle, rhombus, parallelogram, square, yada, 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 yada. Test question is, name the quadrilateral.
Bill.
Bob, Sam, Tedison, Kate, and Harry.
What was it? Tennyson?
Tedison.
Oh.
Names.
Wow, how did we get a classical writer in there? That's wonderful.
Name
Classical
six.
British writer, no less.
Exactly. It wasn't his first name Alfie or something.
His first name to you was Lord.
Yeah, that would have been it. Name 6 animals which live specifically in the Arctic. This kid's a genius. 2 polar bears, 4 seals.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
So this,
You know, whoever Hannah is, I would
Yeah.
be just like her if she grows up.
so let's see. This is a study. Well, they're doing shapes and colors, right? So
Okay.
one of the questions is draw a shape and a circle is drawn. One of the questions is an enclosed area that has height and width. That's a shape. You know, that's the definition of a shape. What is your favorite hue, Jackman?
Oh, see, I don't have Downs, but I'm old.
Here's
You have to Google that, I know.
Here's a Spanish test. A lot of question 54 through looks like 60 is use commands to tell your sister to do the following things. 54 is ir la cocina, I think. I don't have a sister. I left them all blank.
Thanks for bringing up a painful subject, man.
Exactly. And finally, the difference between 180 and 158 is, Tony?
58.
Yes, this kid got it wrong. He said 22. Explain how you found your answer in problem 4.
Episode
Math?
4 something.
Math.
That's very good.
So shut up and don't ask stupid questions, lady.
You get paid for this job, ma'am?
Right? Over to you.
486, by the way. An African opposition party leader was released on bail after prosecutors charged him and 7 others, according to a BBC report, with witchcraft.
Which witchcraft?
That witchcraft, yes.
That
Patrick-
witchcraft?
Patrick-
Witchcraft.
Patrick Hermione? Oh.
Oh.
Okay, it's Hermine. Wouldn't it be Hermione?
Well, I'm going to say Hermione.
And now suddenly
about
Harry
his friend?
Potter's entered the picture.
Joe Potter.
Yeah. Leader of the United Seychelles. Is it Seychelles or Seychelles? I think it depends on which
I think
you
it's
do.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think Americans, we say United Seychelles Party.
whichever.
We also see USP as United States Postal Service, which we just don't believe in.
Yeah.
Anyway, Patrick is the leading opposition figure in the Seychelles, an island nation off Africa's east coast, according to the BBC and all the maps I've seen. Which seemed to be an odd place to put according to the BBC. Anyway, local media reports obtained by the BBC. This must be a story written by the BBC because the BBC gets mentioned a lot about being the BBC.
Yeah.
Local media reports obtained by
style guide, just all it says is BBC.
Indicate that Hermione's charges relate to the possession of objects in preparation for witchcraft activities. Hermione, the prosecutors allege, was in contact with a Tanzania national
named Samantha Stevens,
little devil who allegedly possessed. Isn't it a Tanzanian devil? No, it's a Tasmanian. Sorry,
it's a Tasmanian. Yes, you maroon.
He could have been an expatriate. Where was he? Tanzanian national who allegedly possessed a slew of items from brownish liquids to wood artifacts when arrested by Seychelles OIS by authorities in September.
From Seychelles.
They're the ones. Hermione, the Speaker of the Seychelles Parliament between 2007 and 2016, called his arrest a political show ahead of his anticipated candidacy in the country's presidential elections.
Right.
He said over 40 cops raided his party office in the capital of Victoria.
All of them with garlic around their necks, and he kept going, "Not that one, you idiots."
The Seychelles president, Vavel Ramakalawan, has yet to comment on Hermione, dismissed notions of his alleged witchcraft beliefs, according to the BBC.
Well, thank you, BBC, for BBC all over that story.
How hard do you have to find someone with a last name that is the same as a character in Harry Potter to make that work?
Yeah, that was lovely. It was excellent investigative journalism. Not if they could get something right, politically or socially. That'd be cool.
Oh, come on. Let's not be all that. You're getting picky now, dude.
What's the BBC? They're the official BBC of the BBC.
Yeah, but you have to understand, it's not the BBC that we're thinking of. This is the BBC that would be like, let me see. It would be like the Gray Lady of today. More politically motivated than truth motivated.
Kind of a yellow sheet.
I think Mr. Tucker sent me that one too, which again, I worry for him.
From Patrick Reed, our man in Liverpool. Mick Maloney was walking his dogs by the river in Mildura, Victoria, when he noticed one of his pets missing.
Which one?
The one over there.
I knew it.
The ex-police officer's dogs love swimming, so he scoured the river to spot where Hutchie could be. Oh, there you go. It's Hutchie. It was then he noticed the 6'5" kangaroo standing in the water, staring straight at him.
Huh?
It was staring straight at him.
I got that part. Yeah.
Maloney quickly noticed the animal's arms were in the water. And suddenly his pet surfaced from underneath. Hutchie came up gasping for air, water spilling out of his mouth and screaming his head off. Maloney ran into the water to take on the kangaroo and save his beloved pet and captured the altercation on camera. Let's just stop right here and ponder that notion just a moment. What kind of pet owner who says they love their pets when the pet is in mortal danger
and then film it?
His camera.
Yeah. I know what I need to do.
Film this. In the video, the kangaroo, but actually I should thank him because now I have this story, right?
That's true. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a story here.
The kangaroo can be seen holding Hutchie with both of his hands, dog's head just about above the water. Maloney can be heard instructing, and I listened to it, can be heard instructing the kangaroo, "Let go of my dog."
Well, that will certainly...
Yeah, and
because I know that kangaroos are very law-abiding.
Yeah, well, not only that, the kangaroo said, "No habla Australian," or however you say it. Thankfully, the kangaroo appears...
I'm going to guess any way you say it is not like that.
...to politely oblige with the order, raising its arms, releasing the pup, only to take a swipe at the dog owner. You didn't ask its permission if you could film it. Phone falls into the water as Maloney and Hutchie scramble to get away. Maloney came away with a few scratches after a bit of a wrestle, but thankfully he, Hutchie, and the Roo were reported as mainly unharmed.
After a bit of a wrestle.
I've seen guys take on. I saw one where this kangaroo's got the dog around the neck, and the guy runs up, starts punching it in the nose. The Roo lets the dog go, and now they're duking it out.
No.
Yeah, this just another reason never to be caught in Australia.
There are things to do in Australia that don't involve, pain and dying.
Yes.
And I believe if you watch Modern Family, there was the episode where you saw them all.
Including the spiders big enough to
be spidery in any, yeah. Where was I now?
Next story.
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty much done with that. Oh, next story, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
From my
Michelle?
Rob Tucker.
Oh, it's Rob.
Yeah. First, we have the guy with the Harry Potter last name.
Yep.
Now we have members of the Amish community being shunned by their church after a recent test of the emergency alert system outed them as having mobile phones.
Did it happen during church services, please? Tell me it happened on a Sunday.
They
happened on Wednesday.
Probably on a Wednesday. Could have been church service anyway.
Happened on Wednesday. Mine went off 3 times.
The alarm, well, there were 3 different tests, I think, to start with.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Something weird this year, yeah.
Okay.
The alarm's part of the nationwide emergency alert drill that the U.S. government carried out on the 4th of October. You can tell this is written by the British. Was carried out on 4 October. It drew the attention of community elders in Ohio. You think?
Yes, it did.
Eli Yoder, a former member of the Amish community, took to TikTok. That's how you know. There are 2 ways you know he's a former member. You know he was a member because his last name is Yoder. And you knew he was a former member because he was on TikTok. He shared the story there in which he explained how 3 of his friends had gotten into trouble after their phones were discovered. Hey, guess what? I just got a couple of my Amish buddies shunned today by the Amish church. At which time most of the folks on TikTok had to go to Google.
Right. They don't get what the shunning is. Yeah.
He added, over the years, there's been quite a few Amish men that reached out and wanted phones. So whenever they request to have a phone, I'll do everything I can to get it to them. I can't do so always, but in some circumstances, I have been able to get them what they wanted. Now, 3 of them replied back to me today and said, hey, I'm going to have to lay low for a while. I just got shunned.
The great shunning of 2023.
That I was curious. So how would that have happened? And he said, well, the emergency alert went off, right? We had our phones on vibrate, still went off. It goes blows right through that.
Yep.
And of course, in Amish culture, the practice of shunning involves a separation of a person from their community.
By not talking to them. Boy, their moms are going to have a tough time.
A person is no longer allowed to eat or take rides with community members or engage in most community activities. That's the part that will normally get you.
Yeah.
Because your whole life revolves around your community.
Yep, it absolutely does. I just wonder, why didn't the guys just stand up and start going, hee-haw, hee-haw, hee-haw. Sorry, I just needed to make noise. Hee-haw, hee-haw.
Mr. Yoder said one of his friends was in the middle of a visit with the community elders to discuss a shunning for different reasons when the alert went off. Because let's be honest, there's just something enticing about a good old-fashioned shunning.
Yeah, I was once shunned.
In that you still are, you just don't know it.
By a girl I was dating.
Well, by most of the known world, but I'll explain it to you later. Okay. In the comment section of his video, Mr. Yoder added, from now on, I guess I have to remember to give all my Amish buddies a heads up when there's a planned emergency alert test.
Turn the darn thing off.
Oh, a shunning here, a shunning there.
Shunning
everywhere. Pretty soon, the whole world would be just wandering around with their backs to everybody else.
We'd be pirouetting down the country lanes.
I'm just trying to picture, like Madison Avenue. 4 o'clock. Yeah, that would not be good.
And imagine what the cars would be doing.
What? Ooh.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.